Kumble, 4 overs, and he's taken 1 wicket. Big wicket that of Brian Lara. Attacking field now for Carl Hooper. There's a slip, there's a silly point, and a forward chocolate. He might be in good form, Carl Hooper, but the Indian captain doing the right thing by putting pressure on him. Just coming to bat.
Boundary side here, where there's a man who's very hard at work. His name's Andrew Lepers, and who's responsible for putting Anil Kumble back onto the ground. And I thought we'd check with Andrew. Andrew, just how bad was it? Were you surprised that Anil Kumble actually wanted to go out and play?
Well, when you see the x-rays and you see the crack going straight through the jaw and the teeth separated, yeah, I was very surprised.
There is Kumble. He's actually bowling. It gives a lot of us goose pimples, but obviously you can't, as doctor, as the physio, allow yourself to be carried away like that.
Well, I've got to thank the dentists, a couple of dentists here as well, that have actually tried to wire up 2 of his teeth so to hold the fracture together and stabilise it. It's basically what we call a flail segment. The jaw is just loose and flapping around out there. So the taping is basically designed to hold his jaw together. Obviously he's got some painkillers in there as well. But it all comes down to his heart. It's his heart, his courage, his determination that actually put him back on the field. No one else's influence. He said, do whatever you do, whatever you can do to get me out there. And he got Lara. Fantastic.
So, he's looking good enough to appeal.
He's still, that strapping is actually supposed to keep his jaw closed. But somehow he's actually managing to keep it open.
Now tell me, Andrew, whose decision was it first up? Was it suggested to him, or did he stand up and say, as you said, do what it takes, I want to go out and play?
Yeah, well, it was very hesitant at first, very anxious. But then he saw Sachin turning the ball as far as he was, and he thought, I've got to get out there. And he just knew he has to get out there and do it for India.
And what did you have to do once he decided he wanted to play?
Well, obviously I had to clear it with the dentists and the medical doctors to say, look, can this injury be worsened? Because there is a chance that we thought there was a chance that he could suffer some nerve damage if that segment slipped further. But they said no. If we support it really well, strap it up really firmly, he should be okay. He's still getting jarring every time he runs, every time he puts weight on their front foot during bowling action. He still feels a jarring pain. But now that he's warmed up, that's actually subsided. He's still in pain, but he's not the edge is off the pain.
Now your job down here at the boundary is to ensure, as he runs in and bowls, is excited. Now your job here down on the boundary is to ensure that the bandaging stays.
Yeah, obviously in the dressing room he's nice and dry, but out in the middle he's sweating quite a lot. So I've got to make sure that strapping doesn't slip off, because if it slips off he's going to get a lot more movement in that fracture site. So yeah, just basically keeping it in one piece.
Now the initial idea was that he would go home. Now does that still hold?
Yeah, it still holds. That fracture needs to be fixed. It needs to have an operation where they put a plate and a pin in there, hold it together, and there needs a bit of time for the bone to heal, and then he should be fine for the England series.
So he goes home at the first possible opportunity. If he takes another couple of wickets, is that his call, or is it the doctor's call, or is it your call?
I think we can put our heads together on that one, I think.
Right, then what we really do need to know, Andrew, is Ashish Nehra starts another over, is will he be fit enough to finish this test match? Because obviously what we've seen here is something quite remarkable.
Yeah, we have to really wait and see with that one, see how he pulls up tonight and tomorrow morning. Now, he's got a couple of local anaesthetics in his jaw, which is numbing the pain. We'll see what happens when that wears off. The pain, he could get a latent effect. That pain could come back magnified. We're not sure at this stage. Obviously, if he gets through today and tomorrow's is exactly the same, then sure, we can probably send him out again. But again, it comes down to him. He's the only one who can determine whether he goes back out or not.
One final question, because you might need to go back and do some work on him. You've seen a bit of Aussie rules football. You've seen a few injuries. Have you seen something as bad as this on a ground with someone coming out to play?
No, this takes the cake, certainly. The courage that it takes to get back out there and do what he's doing is immense.
Right then, Andrew Lepus, the physio of the Indian side. We've just seen something absolutely remarkable on a field of play. It's back to the commentary box.
Yes, a very interesting interview that, and what was great to hear was, and I promise you it won't surprise too many who are watching television or fans of Anil Kumble, that it was his decision to go out more than anybody else's.
That was the big inside edge and was called no ball. This came shortly after it survived a very, very, very close appeal for leg before. The next ball just took off and went off Rahul Dravid's hands. He's got it up and it's gone the distance. It's certainly beyond Tendulkar. It's called a boundary, but Tendulkar was charging after it. And I think Hooper's decided it's his day. He's drunk that portion of invincibility, and he's going to go on.
Well, this is a courageous shot if it comes off, which it does. If it had bowled out, I think it would have been thought of as very foolish at this stage.